So just at a high level, the 4 characteristics of money for something to be qualified as, quote, good money is durability, portability, divisibility, and fungibility. So again, portable, it needs to be easy for people to carry. It needs to be divisible, meaning it can be broken down into smaller units to facilitate transactions. And it needs to have good fungibility, meaning money should be interchangeable. So like each unit needs to be identical. This way, it's like trusted and used universally. So Bitcoin basically encompasses all of these 4 characteristics at the highest level. Before Bitcoin, gold was used as money in the history of our, of humanity. Because gold is hard to make, you can't really counterfeit it. There is only so much of it on this earth. Now there's an argument to be made that there's much more of it out in the universe, but that's a whole nother topic that we don't need to go down.
Mars.
Right.
And
whatever.
the moon.
Asteroids, whatever.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah. So Bitcoin basically possesses those 4 characteristics at the highest level, meaning it is the perfect form of money. However, I can see why, we're not really taught to understand what money is. We just kind of assume it's this green piece of paper that we pass back and forth between each other. And we sometimes even believe that piece of paper is backed by something. And since 1971, that piece of paper hasn't been backed by anything other than the promise of the government. And before 1971, you used to be able to take your green notes, your bank notes, and exchange them for the actual gold. However, we have gone off the gold standard in that time. So we're about 50 years into this fiat money experiment. And if you look at histories of currencies from time to time, there has been, periods of time where fiat currencies, they don't really withstand the test of time. They typically collapse in around 50 years.
And when you say fiat currency, just for some clarity, because I feel like that is a word that is used in the Bitcoin community, but in the regular society, we hear cash or debit card or credit card. What is a fiat? What is fiat? Is fiat currency cash? I honestly, when I'm looking at this, I should have put in here numbers or something, because there's only so much cash as well, but there's a number that we see in our banking accounts and everybody's banking accounts that ain't necessarily represented with cash or gold. We've heard the stories about people trying to withdraw a certain amount of cash from their banking account and they have to wait because the cash isn't technically there.
Right. I mean, banks operate off fractional reserve banking, meaning like if you're a bank, you don't have to, let's say you have 10 customers, or let's say for ease, you have 100 customers and each customer has $1 million. You would think the bank has to have $100 million in their account at all times, just in case their customers come to, redeem their funds, to withdraw their funds.
Right.
So banks do not operate this way. We've known this. This isn't a secret. They operate on fractional reserve banking. So they don't have to keep all the funds that they promise to have in their customers' accounts. And going back to your original question of fiat money, what is fiat money? It's basically just a type of money that is issued by the government, and the government maintains it as legal tender. And all legal tender means is just the official money. So
like the numbers USD would be a fiat currency.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the letters USD,
exactly.
Sorry.
Right. And some of the key characteristics of like what fiat currency is it basically has no intrinsic value because it's only valuable because the government declares it is, and people trust it as a purchasing power. And then it's also, again, the legal tender, meaning governments enforce it by law to be accepted for all debts, both public and private. And the other thing about fiat currency, and this is what's very different from Bitcoin, is it has an unlimited supply. So unlike commodity money, which is what we were talking about earlier, which is what's backed by gold, fiat currency can be printed or created in an unlimited amount, which
makes it imaginary in a way.
Like, well, for a long time, there wasn't a clear understanding of this. But this is what 100% without a reasonable doubt, that's what leads to inflation, is when governments print money. And then again, the other characteristic of a fiat currency is it's not redeemable for a physical commodity. So it can't be exchanged for a fixed amount of a physical asset. So again, the US dollar used to be backed by gold under the gold standard, but ever since 1971, it is 100% purely fiat, meaning you cannot take your dollars and exchange it for gold.
You mean all the dollars in circulation, technically?
Correct.